everybody, this completely normal, nothing to see here, please disperse bad gear episode was filmed last week, but in light of recent events it is safe to say that it didn't age so well. Hope you like it anyway, enjoy! Welcome to Bad Gear, the show about the world's most hated audio tools. More or less all synth nerds have their own temporal demarcation line between awesome old-school Roland and corporate grave robbers squeezing the last penny from iconic IPs. For me, this turning point might as well be the release of the 1999 JV-1010. This obvious insult to UI design combined classic ROMpler tones of the 90s with a workflow so abysmal it helped pave the way for the DAW revolution, and things only went downhill from there. At the first glance, JV-1010 is ticking all the boxes. The traditional bring your own keyboard form factor, was cut in half and is graced by a display even more minimalist than the one on sample players before and after, while its bigger siblings required some serious apnea menu diving skills. All you can do is select one of 16 parts we are going to talk about a little later, a patch, which are sorted by instrument group or preset bank, preview them, and follow the instructions printed on the synth to edit basic parameters like transposition, add reverb and chorus, and dial in how much of the 64 voices of polyphony a part is allowed to guzzle up. These sounds are taken from the revered JV-2080. Roland was kind enough to include the session card as a non-removable ROM expansion, and I felt like a kid finding money in a used GameCube when I discovered that the unit I bought came with a Techno collection occupying the single expansion slot. The general Midi bank is great for some boomer shooter nostalgia. Every voice of the little JV is based on up to 4 sample-based layers, each of which boasts its own filter and envelope settings, and you can throw in a twist of FM-like cross-modulation. Everything beyond the aforementioned and very limited set of parameters is accessible using a software editor which, you guessed it, is no longer supported, or to a lesser extent with a handful of Midi CCs. You might be able to find a free software solution that still runs on contemporary PCs, but throwing money at coffee shops seemed to be the only way if you want to create patches using a Mac. Once you have that sorted out, it is easy to tweak the global multi-FX unit, read the actual patch names and create 16-part multitimbral performances including drums, without having to paint the hallway through the letterbox, but I haven't found a way to save patches and performances without software, which will certainly be a deal breaker for many. In case you're willing to embrace these limitations, the JV-1010 is a slightly outdated dictionary of Rolandian 80s cheese, 90s jank, a usable piano, rich selection of bread and butter sounds, orchestral tones, and whatever they called ethnic back in the day. A full Midi trio aside, connectivity didn't age so well, and you might want to opt for one of its bigger predecessors for multiple outputs or its silver successor for USB. I would totally buy an IRA compact mini ROMpler for the price of a used 1010. Roland ROMplers are the backbone of countless setups. Does JV-1010 hit the sweet spot between sound quality, compact form factor and affordability, or is it just a dated cheese box? You have already heard the module in today's intro tune. We are deep in the uncanny valley of digital 90s sounds. Time to explore the instrument's multitimbrality and engage in some serious preset doomscrolling. Was refreshingly terrible. With a vast selection of Roland patches like this comes great responsibility not to choose the cheesiest ones, and I might be the wrong person to make that choice. Some digital artifacts and noise aside, the sound quality is really nice. Let's program a sound from scratch using a software editor and be a little pickier with a preset selection. Nothing but impeccable taste. The filter is surprisingly tweakable as long as you stay within a certain parameter range, and I'll never get sick of the classic Roland waves. Using the little synth without an editor limits its use substantially. I wanna know if we can make it sound pro by embracing the hybrid DAW and hardware workflow in this futile attempt to channel nostalgia for a time when nostalgia still worked, future synth Roland waves. For me, the late 90s are the most interesting era for classic Roland ROMpler sounds, combining realism with characterful sonic limitations, and JV-1010 makes these tones available in a compact and affordable package. That being said, the minimalist UI, scaled down connectivity and strong reliance on software can be quite a buzzkill, and the workflow turned out to be more tedious than I expected. Roland takes their digital legacy much more seriously than their analog one, so it can be assumed that vintage synths like the JV-1010 are the only ones that Uli can't clone. Thanks for watching and see you next time. Hey guys, I hope you enjoyed the episode. Feel free to like, subscribe, become a patron and use one of the links down below that support the channel regardless of what your gas commands you to buy.